welcome back to the Hive, aka Nick's Ramble. I hope that you are doing really, really well tonight or today when you're watching this. I'm first off gonna be kind of like testing my distance from the mic because I've been watching more ASMR videos and I feel like a lot of the sound quality, it feels better when you're farther away. So let me know if you like this distance or if you like it really, 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 really close up. Let me know in the comments because I'm gonna be playing around. But today's video is actually a very fun video because it's an update on my short film Flowers. An update on my short film Flowers, which we actually filmed in November, and I'll link up right here. You can kind of go through the playlist of all the videos I made. The really beautiful thing about this short film, so if you're new here, I'm a screenwriter and a writer and director for entertainment and film. And the great thing about this short film is that I actually was grading it when I began this channel. So like some of my first videos were actually me while I was grading Flowers. I wanted an outlet to kind of like express the journey because I knew I would want to remember it, and that's how I found many of you. But yeah, I'll just give you kind of like an update of how it's going. So we finished shooting in November before like December 1st, and then I went home and did like a surgery. I came back to LA in mid-January and I started post-production, and yeah, okay, so I came back and I basically, the way I kind of like outsource things, so for post-production you need to find a couple of things. You need to find first an editor. An editor is, I'm pretty sure y'all know, like when you have all your videos, we have all this footage, we need someone to help compile everything. And the editor is in charge of, going through all the footage, but also syncing sound to the videos, because when we film, we actually film them separately. We film, sorry for the siren, we film it separately. We film the video first via the camera, and then we film the sound via mic, and then when you separate them, just in case one gets corrupted, it doesn't corrupt everything, and then in the edit you put it together. So an editor, they do that, they sync it, and they basically pull everything up. Then I need to find a sound mixer / sound designer, someone that helps clean up the sound, because when we shot it, you get some airplanes, you get everything, like everything you hear in ASMR. Imagine you hear that on a film set when you're outside, and then they try and clean it up, right? So, and then the next thing is not a cinematographer, is a composer. Yeah, basically someone adding in music, because this film will have some very beautiful music to it. So yeah, I spent around a week or 2 weeks kind of looking for an editor. What I do is I basically go online, I go on Facebook and Instagram, and I basically just join all these groups, and I just do this huge massive post being like, I say, hey y'all, even though I'm not from the South, I say y'all. I like it better than hey you guys, or hey, I don't know. Fun side story, my freshman year roommate thought that I was from the South. He's from New Zealand because I said hey y'all all the time, and he's like, you don't have an accent. I was like, of course I don't, I'm from Massachusetts. We have the park, the car, and the Harvard Yard. That's what I do. Oh, that was Southern. I can do Southern a little bit, hey y'all. But I'd say hey y'all. I say I'm looking, hey y'all, and then paid. You have to say if it's paid or non-paid. I say I'm looking for and then all caps editor for my LGBT short film called Flowers. Someone in the LA area, would be a better fit. DM me or email me if you're interested. So I did that for an editor, and I got an editor through. So I went to NYU Tisch. I got recommendations from some people through NYU of like a common person. I think we kind of thought that we were in the same class, like freshman year, because I kind of remember her, but her name's Ellie, and I met with her twice, and then I decided to hire her. Yeah, so I hired her. Ooh, sorry, my neck is feeling weird. I hired her maybe like a week ago. I gave her a hard drive with all the footage, and she spent like a week and a half compiling everything, going through the footage, and basically creating a rough draft, or as we call it, an assembly. And y'all, she sent it to me last night, actually, the full thing, and I haven't watched it yet. I'm extremely nervous. Wish me luck, but by the time I post this, I probably have seen it. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous because everyone that I've talked to that's a director or that's done a project, they've always told me that the first cut you get of your film is absolute horse shit. Like, it's supposed to be so bad, and it makes you everyone's like, you're gonna hate it. Like, I've had someone be like, watch it, then sleep on it, then give notes. Because what you're supposed to do is you get this first cut, and I'm going to talk to Ellie about it, but usually the first cut, what it has is it has all your different shots, different angles, and she basically will throw everything from every different angle of that scene into the scene, and basically will kind of show you overall like all the footage you kind of have, while trying to like create the story that you want to tell. So like all the beats aren't there and everything, but you do that, and then I will watch it, and I'm supposed to give notes, and then she's gonna go through another pass, and with those notes I'm gonna talk to her, and we're gonna start probably shrinking the film down, talking about transitions and like beats and all of that, because if you know anything about entertainment, and you know this, but if you don't, I'll tell you too, it's everyone that's ever created anything has always told me, and I believe it too, that creating a movie or a film, it's not one process, it's three. It's not one story, it's three. And what I mean by that is there's three different levels that your story goes through. Your story, when you create it, like my next film, I'm in pre-production, right? Like, I'm creating it. There's pre-production, and maybe I'll do a whole other video. Let me know if you want me to explain, but there's pre-production, where you create the story, and you can see on this channel I like created Flowers that did the script, right? I read you the script, that was all pre-production. Then you have production, which is the shooting days, which is also on this channel. Your story changes through those. When you're writing, you think about, oh, it would be great if the story looks like this, right? And then you get in production, you go, okay, we actually can't film there, we can't do this because it's not practical, we don't have the equipment, all that, right? So then your story becomes a different thing. And then the final phase is when you're in post. Apparently your story changes again. You see what you have, what content you actually have, and then you have to make a story out of what you physically have. Not what you want it to be, but what you physically see it to be, right? So that's where I am. I'm very excited to look at all this. I'm very extremely nervous. I've had a huge... I told y'all this is like my heart on my sleeve. That's what most art is, and I highly recommend you do it. Even if you never want to show it to others, it is such a good outlet for you, for me, to not judge ourselves, to let our weirdness out and just see, the worlds we create. And hopefully what I would love my art to do is I would hope it has an impact on people. I remember being a kid and watching films and watching like Inception, and I remember watching even the Titanic, which they did like a whole other enhancement. They was in the movie theaters again recently for an anniversary. Maybe it was not the 20th anniversary, but you get it. Maybe 25th. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think 25th anniversary. But I remember watching movies as a kid, and I remember it just feeling magical. feeling like anything could happen. I remember feeling so emotionally invested and feeling feelings that I never knew I could feel. And that's how I knew I loved all of us. And I think the goal of my stuff is to help evoke people to really think about things in a different way, right? So that's what I hope. And it's always scary, getting your footage back, going through it, and the possibility that it is shit. So I'm going to be going through that, and I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. It's not. It's scary. I get why a lot of people don't finish their films. I haven't even started looking at the footage yet, but I know it's going to be hard to let it go, because eventually you're like, this is all we can do with it. And then you basically open your baby up for critique. And that's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to have opinions from other people, and hopefully it's a good reflection for the people watching it, right? So, yeah. So Flowers, I got the first footage back, and I'm gonna go watch it later today. And then I'm in the process of trying to find a sound designer. A sound designer is basically someone that can, I've said, clean up the sound and stuff, but it's basically also more to basically talk about the arcs of sound. When we have a party scene, I'm pulling some sounds from a party, but also us talking about the crescendo of what's the background music, and having them hopefully this will work, talk with the composer so that we can mesh the worlds really well together. So the sounds we hear for Foley, which is the click click click, any ASMR stuff you love. I actually think that might be how I loved ASMR. I'll do a whole other how I found ASMR video, but one of them is via movies. You hear the click clack click clack click clack click clack of eels. That's what did it for me. But yeah, I'm gonna do a sound designer, and then I'm a composer, and then and the way it works, I think, is with the editor, I'm going to do picture lock, where you go through a couple passes until visually it tells the story, and then we lock it, which is the picture is locked. We're not adding any more scenes, changing what it visually looks like, and then we bring in sound. So the sound designer and the composer, and we then build the sound for it. And once that's set, then we pull it back to my DP, hopefully, if he's free. I think he is. He seems excited. Miles, who will color it, who will put on a filter, who will make it grow, because my film is gonna have a very, hopefully it looks well, but I want to grow in saturation throughout the film until the end, where the flower world, where it's just blossoming with color. So it seems like it's a pretty, set out plan, and thankfully my editor, this is all she does. She's an editor. She went to school for editing at Tisch. I know she knows what she's doing. They always say to hire people that know more than you do, and I totally feel like I'm doing that, and it's cool hiring people that know things I don't. But it gets a little hard, right? Because now I'm figuring out the composer, to get picture lock. I also want to make sure that we leave enough time for sound, for the music to build. And so I don't know if I'm gonna bring him in a little bit before picture lock to see if he has any ideas of prolonging scenes to fill in the music, or if it's just kind of something that it's really better just to picture lock and then add him in. But yeah, that's kind of an update on Flowers. I'll keep you guys updated when we finish post, but maybe throughout the process as well. If you found this interesting, let me know in the comments. I can give you more updates as we go. I just don't know how much you guys want to hear about it. And then yeah, if you're still here, make sure you leave a the movie sign, a clacker, the clacker movie sign symbol. You'll see that on some of my titles, just so I know you came here. And yeah, no one's told you today. You are so loved, and I am so grateful that you're here. And don't be afraid things you're not comfortable with and that you feel like you're not good at. That's what I'm doing right now. Like, these are all new things. So this is my sign to you. The universe's sign to you to go for the things that you don't need to be good at. Just go for it and you'll learn. And that's the whole point of doing something, right? It's to learn, to get better at it eventually. You don't need to be perfect before you do it, and you shouldn't. That's how you should be living life. You should be living life by doing things that you don't know if you're going to succeed at, yes, necessarily. And yeah, I love you. Be really kind to yourself. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and consider subscribing. It hurts you in no way. It's so easy to slow a button, but it means the world to me and our hive. And we're all a hive because, you know, we're all bees just doing our own thing. Well, when we come together, we create a really nice family, and we create honey, we create sweet things together. And I love this idea that we're just kind of floating around our world. We may be very different, doing very different things, but this is our safe place to come together, to be together, and just to recharge ourselves. So yeah, consider subscribing so that you're officially part of the family. And I will see you in my next video. Cool. Deuces.